Welcome back. Today, Topic 5, the origin of nutrients in the extracellular fluid. We'll go through it, in Guyton's own words, diagram by diagram, and then test it. Let's begin. In an average 70 kilograms adult, total body water is about 42 liters. That is roughly 60% of body weight, normal range 50 to 70%. Women and obese people have a lower percentage, since fat holds little water, while lean males have more. Let's begin with the numbers. In an average 70 kilogram adult, total body water is about 42 liters. That's roughly 60% of body weight, with a normal range of 50 to 70%. And it varies. Because fat tissue holds very little water, women and obese individuals sit at the lower end, while lean, muscular males sit higher. So 60% is the average, not a fixed value. This water sits in two compartments. Intracellular fluid, inside the cells, holds about 2/3, near 28 liters. Extracellular fluid, outside the cells, holds about 1/3, near 14 liters. All that water lives in two compartments. About 2/3 of it, near 28 liters, is intracellular fluid, sitting inside your trillions of cells. The remaining 1/3, near 14 liters, is extracellular fluid, the water outside the cells. Keep that 2-to-1 split in mind, it comes up again and again. The ECF has two main parts. Blood plasma inside the vessels, about 3 liters, 25% of the ECF. Interstitial fluid between the cells, about 11 liters, 75%. Lymphatics capillaries recapture the roughly 10% of fluid not reabsorbed. Now zoom into that extracellular fluid, because it has two parts. First, blood plasma, the fluid inside your vessels, about 3 liters, which is 25% of the ECF. Second, interstitial fluid, the water bathing the cells in the tissue spaces, about 11 liters, a full 75%. And notice the lymphatics capillaries, they recapture the roughly 10% of fluid that isn't reabsorbed back into the blood. The ECF is the body's internal environment, the milieu interieur. Its stability is the condition for a free and independent life. This concept was named by the 19th century French physiologist Claude Bernard. Here is the big concept. This extracellular fluid is the body's internal environment, what the French called the milieu intérieur. Its stability, keeping it constant, is the very condition for a free and independent life. This beautiful idea was named by the 19th century French physiologist Claude Bernard, and it's the foundation of everything in this chapter. The ECF is rich in sodium, chloride, and bicarbonate. It delivers the nutrients cells need, oxygen, glucose, fatty acids, and amino acids. And it carries carbon dioxide away from the cells to the lungs. So what's actually in the ECF? It's rich in sodium, chloride, and bicarbonate. And crucially, it's the delivery fluid, it carries the nutrients every cell needs, oxygen, glucose, fatty acids, and amino acids. At the same time it picks up the waste gas, carbon dioxide, and carries it from the cells to the lungs to be breathed out. Inside the cell the fluid is the opposite. It is rich in potassium, magnesium, and phosphate. These are maintained heavily against their concentration gradients. Now compare that to the fluid inside the cell, which is almost the mirror opposite. The intracellular fluid is rich in potassium, magnesium, and phosphate. And these aren't there by accident, they're maintained heavily against their concentration gradients, meaning the cell spends energy to keep them concentrated inside. Across the membrane the two fluids are mirror images. Outside, high sodium, chloride, bicarbonate, inside, high potassium, magnesium, phosphate. The sodium-potassium pump, 3 sodium out for 2 potassium in, uses ATP to hold this and a -70 mV resting potential. Put them side by side across the membrane and you see two mirror images. Outside, high sodium, chloride, and bicarbonate. Inside, high potassium, magnesium, and phosphate. What holds this difference? The sodium-potassium pump, kicking 3 sodium ions out for every 2 potassium ions in. It burns ATP to maintain both this gradient and the -70 mV resting membrane potential. The ECF never sits still, it is constantly mixed. Blood circulation plus micro-diffusion give a uniform ECF composition throughout the body. High yield, a nutrient secreted in one place, like the gut, spreads evenly within minutes. But here's what makes the ECF work as a supply system, it's constantly mixed. Blood circulation carries fluid rapidly around the whole body, and then micro-diffusion spreads it across the tiny tissue spaces. Together they keep the ECF composition uniform everywhere. High yield point, a nutrient secreted in just one place, like the gut, is distributed evenly to the entire body within minutes. Every cell depends on the ECF to survive, grow, and function. Macroorgans like the kidneys and lungs constantly filter, adjust, and replenish this fluid. The whole organism works merely to keep this internal environment stable, which is homeostasis. And this is why it all matters. Every single cell depends on the ECF to survive, grow, and function. The macroorgans, your kidneys and lungs and the rest, constantly filter, adjust, and replenish this fluid. In a real sense, the whole organism works merely to keep this internal environment stable. That constant maintenance is homeostasis, the theme of this entire chapter. Now, let's test what you've learned, with 3 quick questions. Question 1. The alveolar membrane, through which oxygen diffuses into blood, is how thick? Option A, 0.4 to 2.0 micrometers. Option B, 5 to 10 micrometers. Option C, 20 to 50 micrometers. Option D, 0.4 to 2.0 millimeters. Option A, 0.4 to 2.0 micrometers. That's correct. Now, let's break down each option. Option B, 5 to 10 micrometers. This one is wrong, because much thicker than the real alveolar membrane. Option C, 20 to 50 micrometers. This one is wrong, because far too thick for rapid gas diffusion. Option D, 0.4 to 2.0 millimeters. This one is wrong, because this is 1,000 times too thick. And option A, 0.4 to 2.0 micrometers. This is the correct answer. Extremely thin, so oxygen diffuses across it rapidly. Let's move on to the next question. Question 2. Which organ changes the chemical composition of many absorbed substances to more usable forms? Option A, kidney. Option B, spleen. Option C, liver. Option D, pancreas. Option C, liver. That's correct. Now, let's break down each option. Option A, kidney. This one is wrong, because the kidney mainly filters blood and controls ions. Option B, spleen. This one is wrong, because the spleen filters blood and recycles red cells. Option D, pancreas. This one is wrong, because the pancreas secretes enzymes and hormones, not this role. And option C, liver. This is the correct answer. The liver converts absorbed nutrients into usable forms. Let's move on to the next question. Question 3. How does the musculoskeletal system contribute to homeostasis? Option A. By secreting hormones. Option B. By providing movement to obtain food and protect against adverse surroundings. Option C. By filtering blood. Option D. By producing red blood cells. Option B. By providing movement to obtain food and protect against adverse surroundings. That's correct. Now, let's break down each option. Option A. By secreting hormones. This one is wrong, because that is the endocrine system's role. Option C. By filtering blood. This one is wrong, because that is the kidney's role. Option D. By producing red blood cells. This one is wrong, because red cells are made in the bone marrow, a different function. And option B. By providing movement to obtain food and protect against adverse surroundings. This is the correct answer. Movement lets us get food and escape danger. And that's a wrap on this topic. Great job! That's it for this topic. If this helped you, please like the video, and subscribe to the channel, so you don't miss the next one. See you in topic 6.